Joining me is a special guest, Kathleen Tonnesen. She's a multi-talented individual. She's a professional painter, writer, author, and she's here today to talk about her successful career and how she maintains a healthy lifestyle. And later on in the show, we're going to be giving away a couple of books, so stay tuned for that. Welcome to the show, Kathleen.
Lovely to be here, particularly at BC Place in the Whitecaps Hall.
Yes, it's great to be here. And so I wanted to tell us about your artwork.
Well, art to me is breathing, and I am a multidisciplinary artist, being such that, you know, whatever wants to be manifested, whatever needs to be utilized in order to bring that to fruition is what I love to do. So if it's a production, you know, then it would be actors and music and playwriting. If it's a canvas piece, then it would be, you know, whatever tools are required for that particular piece. Charcoal is one of my favorite mediums to work in. That's why I have the book, How to Draw Step by Step for Beginners, with charcoal portraits, which we're going to give away today. And I have to, shall I say, express myself through my work. It's how I communicate with the world.
That's wonderful. And what was the process like to be known internationally? Because you're known internationally.
Yes, well, there's various levels of success as you're living your life as an artist, and part of growing yourself as an artist is you have to grow your name. So over time, I'm 56 this year, and you know, over 56 years, you keep doing your art and you keep putting yourself out there. You do a lot of volunteer work. You get your name out there. And then you slowly build up a paying career where people actually paying you to create. Mm-hmm. So it is a lengthy process to become internationally recognized, but it's possible, it's doable, and if artists just keep at it, you know, eventually they too will be international artists. And how does it feel? It's wonderful, because the broader you open up your network of people that you're interacting with, particularly with the internet these days, you know, you can create interactions and make new friends, new colleagues in India, in Africa, and you know, Europe, London. There's nothing stopping you. So in the past, where it was really hard for an artist to, you know, get their name bandied about in New York or in Toronto or in San Francisco, and now you can. You know, you can even if you're not a high-earning artist as yet, because that really only happens when you're dead. You know, but you can live your life as an artist, and you can reach out to others across the globe, and so it's not difficult to become an internationally known artist in this day and age, which is just kind of like a miracle for creatives.
Yes, and it is like social media, right? It's so, like you mentioned. And well, which came first, Kathleen, your passion for painting or writing?
Well, I was a creative child, so I was born and I could always draw, and painting was a technique skill of mixing paint, which is something I had to learn and practice. But you know, I could always draw, I could always sing, dance, and act. I was just not. I got thrown into the dumb blonde bucket because I have a visual impairment, and I had that since birth, which my left eye is, it's a blind eye, it just sees large objects. So if I looked at you, I couldn't see your face, I just see the shape of you. So that was a problem for me in my schooling, but the most important thing that I wanted to share was really that I was born a creative child, but in the school system I grew up in, which was South Africa in that generation, and society at the time, you were made to feel like you were kind of stupid, you know, and your creative talents were not recognized. They were more like, you know, you just, you know, one of those creative idiots. And so, you know, that was very disheartening as a child. And so I always drew because that's just what I do. But I sort of put it aside, and it was just, I sort of laughed it off, and I I would even dismiss it myself because everyone else dismissed it, although it was a raw pain and hunger in me because I needed to express myself. And I was always trying to produce plays. My elder sister, who passed away in 2000, her and her friends were always putting on little plays. And so as a 7-year-old, my younger sister and I, we were the audience with our toys. And then, as I got older, I started to put on plays, and my toys were the audience. So I love theater. My first love is live theater, because you get one shot to get your audience interacting with you, and that's a magic moment, and that's a high in itself. So I love live theater, but I didn't have a lot of opportunity to do it in my life, although I did do a substantial amount. But I grew up in also a society where, if you weren't married and had children by 25, you were a waste of human flesh. So, I was kind of stuck in this bucket of a world where who I am was just not valued, actually, and being a girl. So those were hindrances. So what came first? I guess I'm wired to create. I thought I was stupid when I was a child. So anything I wrote, I always wrote poetry, but anything I wrote I dismissed and people around me dismissed. So I would just hide my poetry and I'd hide my stories. And then when I immigrated to Canada, it was really where I took off, because I lived in an area called Maple Ridge Pit Meadows, which is this beautiful, pristine wilderness. And I could take my children for long rides on their bicycles, and we could have picnics and just be outside in the raw, lush, natural environment, and without any safety concerns, because South Africa, you couldn't do that. It became unsafe when my children were that age. And so, but what I was exposed to was the sky even feels bigger here, and so was the colors of the seasons. And I'd never seen the different 4 colors and lived through them. So having the opportunity to walk in this ever-changing kaleidoscope of color that is British Columbia just blew me open. And the changing colors of fall. And so as an artist, I just exploded on my canvas with color. And then I live now in a society where creatives are valued. There's so many opportunities for young people to go and study all sorts of creative endeavors. It's never been a better time for creative people. And so, slowly but surely, I just sort of, if I was a flower, I just kept budding and blossoming. And because of the spirit of volunteerism in Canada, that gave me an opportunity also, to promote myself in a way that was helpful to others through donation of art, donation of songwriting, donation of putting on play productions, donation of my time, and as a radio host. And so as I volunteered, I was able to up my skills, and then I got a Performing and Fine Arts diploma at Douglas College, in addition to early childhood education diploma. So that put me into the workforce there. But what it really did was it boosted my confidence, and I discovered that I was actually an academic. I had to write a lot in college. I got A's for a lot of my work. I made the dean's list, which I had to look at 100 times because I thought surely they made a mistake. I'm this stupid girl. And although I'd got the opportunity through the government of Canada to go to college when I was almost 50, it just changed me as a writer. And so it gave me competence, skills, and I got good marks for my writing. So I started to allow people to read my writing. So now I have 2 poetry books actually that I've compiled as collections. The first one comes out now, and it's a giveaway, so please stay tuned. It's 2 Souls on a Moonbeam. I'm very excited about. And as my eyes are deteriorating more as I age, now I'm going on for 57, I thought, I might never find a publisher before I die. So I have all these books. Let me just self-publish and put it out there and start promoting my work. And if I can do some good through what I've written, opened up other people's hearts to liberate them, before I go completely into the black. I'm just super excited.
Yeah, so you're a role model.
Thank you.
And you know, how does it make you feel to be that? You're multi-talented, but what do you want people to get from your work?
Well, what I want people to get from my work, and I'm to show my book. So, you know, before I die, I would like at least 1 million people to pick up a pencil, pick up some charcoal, pick up a large sheet of paper, and begin to learn to draw. Learning to draw is a very basic, a very simple thing that you need to learn, which will connect your brain in various areas and strengthen the synapses, and it is highly likely, and I'm hoping to finish my study so I can do the research on it, but it is highly likely that by learning to draw with the action of seeing with an artist's eye, practicing with your hand, you will over time become a more dynamic and a more creative thinker, and you could end up like me as an idea flood person who've always got an idea for everything. My friend, an inventor, Gary Schuster, he has over 200 inventions to his name, and he coined the phrase idea flood, and I said that sums me up totally. You know, I can't stop creating. So there's this free giveaway book we're going to give away. It's very easy to use, step by step. I encourage you to learn to draw a portrait by feeling your own face. We are so sensory in our feelings, and what comes first as an artist is the sensory feeling. And then how do I take that feeling that I wish to convey and manifest it within a medium, be it music, be it, you know, paint, be it sculpture, whatever it is, be it dance, be it collaborating with other people in order to bring together a production. So does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. But so the book here, How to Draw, is going to be a contest book giveaway, and the other one is Moonbeam, love poetry book.
Two Souls on a Moonbeam.
Yes.
So Two Souls on a Moonbeam is a beautiful, romantic, modern-day love story of two people. They are creatives. It's an artist and a musician. They live in two different cities, and they fall in love online. So in this day and age of online making new friends, just by happenstance, through friends, they, you know, through their work, through trying to create different creations, their work sort of overlaps, and they start this friendship online. But because they're creatives, they talk to each other through poems. And so, you know, in Shakespeare's day, you know, have all these poetry that people are speaking to each other, and we love that. But what I love about social media today is people are using poetry more than ever. You know, somebody who doesn't like poetry even, they'll find a verse or a line and they'll share it with their friends. And that gets shared and shared and shared. So as poets, it's a great time to be alive, because you can throw a poem out there and many people are going to see it, read it. It might touch their heart. It might be just what they needed to hear on that day. It's short, it's succinct. And so these two people come together online, and they have this poetry texting and poetry phone relationship, and they both have biology issues, which they're afraid somebody won't love them if they knew that they have these biological issues. And so, you know, that's sort of wrought into the poetry. So it addresses all those things of feeling not good enough, not worthy enough. And at the end of the day, we're all good enough. We're all worthy enough. We're all exceptional. But we don't know that we're allowed to be loud and express ourselves. Yeah. So I'm loving the writing. As my eye continues to deteriorate, I'm now learning Braille, because I can't imagine not being able to think and utilize my hands. I have to create with my hands. So, you know, to write with a Braille typewriter at a later date in my life, I'm getting prepared for that. I was super scared, losing a lot of vision as an artist, you can imagine, but I've been going to the CNIB, and I'm doing various courses through them. and to equip me. So instead of being terrified about being alive with a vision impairment and feeling hopeless for a future, I'm learning skills that can transfer me, and so I'll never have to stop writing. I'll never have to stop creating. I can just do it differently. And so I have a great deal of thanks for the CNIB for their courses, and a lot of people have this false idea about the blind community. They feel everyone's you completely in the black, and that's a person that's only blind. And so I used to think that myself, but the blind community is a continuum. So you have people who have great vision this side, and they're your ordinary folk, and then you have people who are completely black on a continuum this side. But everybody else, their visual perception is somewhere on the continuum. And so if a person is reliant on glasses to do their everyday job, then imagine if they couldn't wear their glasses, but they could still operate and do stuff, but they couldn't drive, and they couldn't read a newspaper, and they couldn't actually read a computer. They would have to learn new skills. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with their brain. It just means they have to communicate differently. So that's a whole window to a world that I never expected to venture into. And I'm grateful that there are these skills that you can get ready to learn how to navigate in a world with very little sight.
For the viewers who are watching the show, we're going to do a random draw. And Kathleen, you mentioned the books. We won't mention it because we've already mentioned the show. So we will do a random draw, and go to our website, which is runwithit.ca. So www.runwithit.ca. I want to thank you very much for coming on the show. People want to get a hold of you. Where can they go, Kathleen?
Well, actually, you can just Google my name, Kathleen Tonnesen. That's Tonnesen. And my website will come up. There's Artwork Archive, which is my art gallery portfolio, a few examples of my work. There is Fine Art America, so that's KathleenTonnesenPixels.com, which you can buy my artwork on anything from a towel to a handbag to a mobile phone cover, whatever's your fancy. Get art in your world, get color in your world, and have some fun. Amazon, my books are all available on Amazon, which I think is a great platform for anybody who is trying to get their work out there. Yeah.
That's wonderful. And thank you so much for coming on the show. We'd love for you to come back, and we'll be right back after this break.